on? Consciouztv, your favorite breakdown commentary to TV. Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. You already know what we're here to get into. I know it's late, and most of y'all is sleep, baby. Getting preparated and regulated for the morning commute. But I was over here minding my business, and y'all's too, and this came across my front desk. And we gonna talk about it because it gives me a reason to talk about Tyler Perry ass, okay? So before we get into it, go ahead and run those likes up. You guys know that thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you thumbs up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. Or so, you guys know that. Did I say this already? That thumb it up post with YouTube's algorithm, but most importantly, trigger up YouTube notification system. I be talking so fast sometimes, y'all. Sometimes my mouth be running faster than my brain, and sometimes my brain be running faster than my mouth. And every now and again, they line up and actually coordinate together. Every now and again, they coordinate together, all right? Anywho, you guys also know you can donate to the platform, Cash App, $Consciouztv, and or PayPal.me/Consciouztv, Conscious spelled with the Z on the end, just how it is here on the channel. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be a YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you and Fat Lady the link. Just let them whores know that we're loud, we're live, and we're certainly in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, Conscious crew? Happy Monday. Let me shout out to the Conscious crew in the building. What's going on, Trevor? Hi. Hey, Sin. Hey, Ian Gardner. What's going on, Tyrone? What's going on, Marsha? Miss G. Hey, Davis. Yes. I know it's late, y'all, but I was over here minding my business, feeling good. I've been out of town for the past few days, so I am finally situated, and we're able to get into a little bit of content because as always, it is a lot going on. Matter of fact, all hell is just completely breaking loose, baby. It's breaking loose politically. It's breaking loose intercontinentally. It's breaking loose domestically. It's breaking loose all over damn YouTube, baby. All hell just breaking motherfucking loose, but the Lord got me in the eye of the storm, okay? So shout out to the eye and to the Lord and the storm of it all. All right. I was sitting here unpacking, and I was on the homepage of YouTube, and there was an excerpt that was carved out from T.S. Madison's show. I'm gonna call it Gag Talk. You know, I don't like to say the F word, even if it's spelled differently, because YouTube bots don't make a differentiation in spelling, child, and I don't need that damn AI doing the most, okay? So I'm gonna say Gag Talk, okay, from her show Gag Talk. Y'all know she be over there with Craig the Mistress, child, all right? Well, apparently, Tyler Perry and his $260 million lawsuit from low-ranking actor Dixon ended up on T.S. Madison's docket, all right? So as I was listening to, you know, her commentary, I was also, you know, scourging through the comment section, etc., just to kind of get an idea of maybe what direction, you know, she had went in the conversation. And baby, I was not expecting the comment section girl to be flaming up the host and the co-host. People were particularly on the co-host's neck, on the mistress's neck, child. I said, well, damn, let me really listen in. So I'm going to let you guys listen to an excerpt from Gag Talk. Shout out to TS Madison. You guys run those likes up. I did get a chance to listen to some of it before I decided, you know what, let me go ahead and go live and talk about it, because I just kind of want to talk about this lawsuit any damn way, because this lawsuit still got me damn shook against Miss Tyler Perry, child. It really damn does. But right now, let's listen to an excerpt from Gag Talk. Talk about the order. All right. It's going to be audio only, but I'm going to put up a thumbnail from the show up here for you guys. All right. This, of course, is covered by Fair Use. And let's check out what T.S. Madison and the mistress had to say about Miss Tyler Perry's lawsuit, child. For those of you who've been living under a rock, girl, Tyler Perry is being sued for $260 million by an actor that he put into his shows, Ruthless and The Oval. This guy is alleging that Tyler Perry actually harassed him during his entire tenure working for Tyler Perry. Things are even more gruesome than that, girl, that Tyler Perry allegedly actually sexually assaulted this man practically every time that he was in Tyler Perry's personal quarters, whether that be in Tyler Perry's home or in Tyler Perry's trailer. Derek Dixon alleges that everything from Tyler Perry choking him, molesting him, grabbing his genitals, both the front and the back. Derek Dixon also plastered some screenshots into the lawsuit that also seemingly reveals some innuendos, things that you could interpret maybe as harassment, or at the very least just inappropriate, considering that Tyler Perry is the boss in this case and Dixon is the subordinate. So it's raised all these questions around, you know, power dynamics and workplace dynamics and, you know, where are the lines, etc. Okay. So all of that, Tyler Perry will have to respond legally to these claims, even if his plan is to eventually settle during mediation. But you got to get to mediation before you can even settle, which means that Tyler Perry will have to defend himself against these claims. Tyler Perry's lawyers have spoken out and basically sum totaled this to a damn shakedown, etc. So we're going to see what that reply gives, girl. All right. Here is once again T.S. Madison and her co-host giving commentary on the lawsuit. Fair use.
Let's just get out of the way because I'm not staying here long. I'm not staying here long. I have to return to work.
Let's hope.
No, we will be.
Because when I tell you this white man is trying it,
Listen, first of all, do I believe this? No.
I don't either.
Straight.
I don't either.
And it's not just because I work for Mr. Perry.
Right, and I don't work for him.
And you really don't care for his work.
I'm glad.
Okay, so right off the bat, girl, T.S. and her co-host established that they don't believe the lawsuit. Now, I'm curious to see if they explain and explore what it is they do not believe per se, because once again, there's a lot of claims and there's a lot going on in Derek Dixon's lawsuit against Tyler Perry. The lawsuit is very multifaceted.
I wasn't even going to say that. But I know you, it's okay.
And just because I don't appreciate his work doesn't mean that I have to throw him under the bus. I don't think that this is accurate. I think that, especially when you look through the messages, we'll go through some of those text messages.
Yeah, I don't know the word of them.
Right, that's fine. And then these messages date back to 2021. And apparently this gentleman, Derek Dixon, worked on The Oval, which is one of Tyler Perry's shows. And these are text conversations between him and Tyler. Now, I'm assuming that these messages are accurate. They will be vetted, I'm sure, if they haven't already. I'm sure they will do forensics on it to make sure, or they can even subpoena the text message records from the cell phone companies. But assuming that these messages are true or accurate.
You know, AI is a motherfucker.
That's right. And folks,
now, I want to speak to that. I know that, definitely this is a litigation. People do file frivolous lawsuits. People do present falsified evidence, etc., in lawsuits. You guys know that's going on in the Damore Hadley versus Desiree Perez lawsuit. The CEO of Rock Nation, she's being sued by her daughter, Damore, for a plethora of things, having Damore illegally, allegedly put in a 5150 and trying to break her marriage up to her black husband, who apparently is and allegedly a abuser and whipping off in her ass, and it's a mess going on. But in Desiree Perez's response to the lawsuit, she exposed some of the bullshit that Damore presented in her lawsuit, such as this device that Damore claimed her mother used as a secret recording device, which is how she's claiming her mother, Desiree, got a hold of some of these audios that have gone viral and that were actually used in a previous litigation, because Desiree and Desiree's father and some of her relatives actually collectively sued Damore's husband for abusing Damore, etc. It's been a mess, child, okay? But Desiree had specialists actually come in and deal with this fake device that is nothing more than a $7 damn toy off of Amazon that has no type of recording capability. It has no audio recording capability. The audios that her mother has actually came from the surveillance cameras in the family's home, okay? And those cameras were put throughout the house because Desiree is housing her father who has dementia, and she has another relative who cares for her father in that family home, 24 hours out of the day, around the clock. So these cameras are put throughout the house to just monitor her father in case he falls or there's an emergency, etc. Especially with her being, a boss bitch. She's not able to do that work. She's, based in New York. So it's also her way of being able to check in and see what's going on with her dad, etc. All right. So that's a whole nother damn situation. So I say all that to say that, yes, people present false evidence and, fake foolishness, but I'm going to give a benefit of a doubt to Mr. Derek Dixon. I would hope that he wouldn't present fake text messages, knowing that he's suing someone very powerful, someone who has infinite resources, and that is more than likely going to be a requirement for him to get his phone cloned, especially once they get to the discovery portion of the lawsuit. Because obviously, if Derek is lying, then Tyler logically is going to put a digital forensic specialist onto the case, have them pretty much, break these text messages down to determine if they were created using some type of a fake AI app, or if they were photoshopped, or if this is even a genuine text thread between Derek and Tyler Perry, because everyone knows how easy it is to just put somebody else's name in place of somebody else's, and you can fake present a text thread, that's not actually genuine. But I'm going to assume Derek Dixon knows that if he presents, something that's just all out lies, and it's kind of the foundation to his lawsuit, that obviously Tyler Perry is going to expose that, which is not going to do any good for Derek Dixon, and if anything, is going to put him in a situation to be countersued, and he's going to be broker than he came into this lawsuit as a result. So, with all things given, like T.S. Madison and Craig, we're going to assume that the text messages are true, but they may not be, but we'll see in the clapback of it all from Miss Tyler Perry.
A bitch. Yeah. But the thing is, there's nothing to me from the ones that I saw that was incriminating. There was nothing that spoke in the direction of manipulation or sexual harassment. It looked like two adults having a conversation. One of them, you know, it said something about Tyler having a big dick, but listen, those are grown people talking. There was nothing.
Okay, so a lot of people were calling out the mistress, saying that his talking points fell about as flat as his credit score does. And I would have to agree. What the mistress has to keep into context here is this is a boss to employee communication. That makes this type of communicating unique. No, it's not illegal for two grown-ass men to hunch or to pursue each other. It's not illegal to pursue someone that you're interested in. Pursue them for the sake of sex, or just pursue them for the sake of trying to date them. None of that is illegal. But the issue here is that Dixon is claiming he experienced unwanted, undesired sexual attention from someone who was his boss at the time. Given that Tyler is the boss and Dixon is the subordinate, and given that there is obviously a contrasting power difference here, this is what gives Derek's lawsuit some blood. It gives Derek's lawsuit some merit. And I think we all can agree that even if you strip away Tyler Perry being Dixon's boss, that Tyler Perry is definitely fishing in the conversation. And he is making advances, even if they are subtle to some degree, to Mr. Dixon, such as complimenting how Dixon looks in those jeans, reminding Dixon that he prefers him thick. Once again, doubling down on complimenting how Dixon is filling out those pants, expressing to Dixon that he's jealous when he saw Dixon in a picture or in a video with another male. Tyler Perry talking about being on some type of supplements that allegedly resulted in him being horny, and expressing to Dixon that he pretty much is horny and that he is whomever, you know, comes into contact with him is going to be in trouble, you know, because he's turned up. Tyler Perry sending Derek a picture of him in scuba gear or in swimming gear and fishing for a compliment. And when Dixon compliments the water instead, Tyler asking him, "Oh, you don't see the stud?" So, you know, from the complimenting Derek more than twice about how he looks in his jeans and talking about being horny and turned up on supplements and, you know, expressing that he's jealous, etc. And this is your boss. This is your boss. Yes, it can be equally argued too that Dixon was kind of playing the game as well. But the issue here is not Tyler who's pursuing a claim against Dixon. It's Dixon pursuing a claim against Tyler. And because of the way Dixon played his hand, he's put Tyler Perry up against the damn wall because Derek played it in the middle, which allows him to argue that, well, I didn't all out obstruct his pursuit of me because he was my boss. And I was afraid of being punished by being fired and or removed off of projects and or being blackballed and or blacklisted in the industry. I was too intimidated given Tyler Perry's reach and his wealth and his notoriety. I did not feel comfortable all out rejecting him. I did not want the course of my career to abruptly change because Tyler Perry being offended by me not wanting him. And those claims in a society of Me Too are going to land. People are going to find Derek relatable because more people are employees in this country than they are bosses. And most people are going to project into Derek's position and think about how they would feel if their own boss, if their manager, if their overhead, if their supervisor, if their team lead was communicating with them in this fashion. And because if this thing goes to trial, both Tyler and Dixon are going to be judged by a jury pool of their own peers. Tyler Perry got some issues on his hand, baby. He got some issues on his hands because he's the boss here. And Derek can argue, the jury pool can argue, the Dixon's attorneys can argue that, look, my client should not have had to even all out reject him. Once he saw that Derek was not reciprocating, that should have been an answer all in and of itself. I mean, how many shots do you throw and miss the hole, no pun intended, before you understand that this is just not your game? So I'm sure his attorney is going to argue that no can come in a plethora of ways. No can come in body language. No can come in the form of just not reciprocating. No doesn't always have to be just spell it out, N-O. When you see that this person is not reciprocating same energy, they're not matching that energy, that also is an act of protest. That is an act of resistance. Body language, just not reciprocating, not acknowledging what was said, what was done. Ultimately, your big 6'5" ass not getting what the hell you want was a no. However, my client went about demonstrating a no to you. Now, of course, this is not just about text messages. There are heinous claims that Derek is making against Tyler Perry as well. That Tyler Perry put his hands on him. Tyler Perry molested him. Tyler Perry physically assaulted him. And the lawsuit hints at the fact that there's more evidence to support that. So what we see in the initial filing also isn't all of the domino pieces.
In there that said that suggested force or anything of that nature. To me, this feels like a shakedown. I feel that way. I feel that way too, because I'm looking at the text messages give very much so.
Life moves fast, but great taste.
Okay, and they're paying those bills, and we are too. You guys run those lights up. So it seemed like even when they were talking about the text messages, that they weren't too aware of everything that transpired in those texts, because there was definitely directness in those texts, and there was and Tyler Perry was, if this is true, of course, was definitely fishing. He was definitely fishing. He was definitely being pretty direct. I mean, I think at one point in the text message, he said that he would F Derek. in a hypothetical situation.
Come on in, come on in. It gets very much like, you can look inside me. Very seductive.
Hey, the Black Anarchist Podcast. Hey, boo. This isn't good for us. Dudes are going to be afraid to deal with us. Ninjas are so nasty. Them ninjas ain't never going to be afraid. If it's one thing history has bared out, men ain't never afraid, which is why Tyler Perry is even in this position to begin with, because given all that he got to lose, even he is still damn raggedy, because men in their lack of discipline is just going to have them always in this type of shit. That's why Shannon Sharp in this shit right now. Tyler done got his ass in this shit right now. Smokey Robinson done got his ass in this shit. It's just on and on and on and on and on, baby. Men are going to get caught up until men learn some major self-control, and until men identify with something more than just they damn nuts. Patriarchy done turned just every which way but damn loose and done really handicap their ass. So unfortunately, ain't nobody learned a damn lesson right now. Tyler Perry probably right now somewhere pillow talking to another motherfucker, because that's just how delusional power and patriarchy are half your damn mind, child. What's going on, a unique Melanie? I would not be shocked if actors he employed eventually look, and that's another thing that they're going to have to worry about, because we know how this goes, right? There's always a fallout. There's always a bleed. That this thing definitely has the potential to bleed, especially when it comes to maybe not any currently employed actors under Tyler, but he definitely am going to have to worry about if any actors who's no longer employed by him might either try to falsely get in on all of this. We saw the same thing with Diddy. Saw the same thing with Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. You know, it always plays out this way. Even with Shannon Sharp, you know, one of his previous things, you know, she had jumped her ass in to the mix with his current lawsuit situation. So it is going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, the one thing that may save Tyler Perry ass from being gathered up like that is men historically aren't transparent about SA and being SA'd. They don't like optically the way that looks. It makes them feel weak, that they could not adequately defend themselves against another man, etc. They feel it's a blow to their manhood. Some men don't even like the fact that another man even tried them, because they feel like, what does that say about them as the ones who were tried? Do they give off that? Do they give off that they like that? So because, once again, patriarchy got men, you know, in such a chokehold, that may be the one thing that saves Tyler Perry's ass, which will keep men by the droves from coming out against him. And I am going to say this: if more men come out against Tyler Perry in the wake of this lawsuit, it's probably going to be more white men than it is black men. Black men are probably going to be less likely to speak out, just because of everything that I just said. White men, you know, have a certain privilege and way they can navigate society and even the system that allows them to be more free-handed than the comfortability that black men would feel. So if there are going to be more men to come out, more than likely they're going to be more non-black men. And I would not be surprised if no other man comes forward, just because patriarchy isn't going to allow a man to advocate for himself in that way. But because this always takes place, you know, people get ran down on in the droves and by the dozens, I also wouldn't be surprised either if more men came out in general. What's going on, Unique Melanie? It's clear that TS is trying to keep it neutral because she wants to be called back for season 3 of Beauty in Black, LOL. But it's safe for her to keep it cute in case this disappears and Tyler settles. Kevin Lyles just received a letter demanding $30 million for an old rapper. Wow. David says TP ain't that dumb, but he think Dixon wasn't that brave. Common mistake. Yep, thinking someone ain't got the kahunas. Look, the art of war teaches us nothing. The art of war, literally, one of the principles of the art of war is never underestimate your opponent. And you can insert everything else in place of opponent. Never underestimate somebody who you think is lesser than you, dumber than you. Never underestimate somebody who you think is insignificant. Never underestimate somebody who you think doesn't rank, okay? Do not underestimate the other side, honey, all right? Stay ready so you ain't got to get mother. Get ready.
Right. It felt like he was trying to lead Laura talk. Very like an attempted seduce. Like, I don't. Mm-hmm. This is why I teach you when you be going through my phone and you see me talking to niggas, it's emojis. Mm-hmm. But 90% of my responses and communication with niggas is emojis. I emoji. Mm-hmm. I emoji. I don't trust every talking on the phone with them either because they start recording your call, all this type of stuff. If you got bitch, it's gonna be in person, right? I don't do all that heavy texting and all that stuff. I don't get into that. I don't do all that sexting and shit like that. I just like a nasty text. Be careful, daughter. Oh no! I don't play with that. I need you to be careful. No, I am. And I'm not Tyler Perry. I'm not even in that stratosphere. No, you're not. But you're rich though. But I want you to be careful.
Shout out to my boo Unique, honey, for the old dance piece of donation. My boo says, lock them all up. Look, the way it's headed. See? But that's another thing, y'all. A lot of people who have genuinely been victimized, at this point, you know, the damage is done as far as they're concerned. It's years out, and they rather get paid. They rather get paid for their pain. So a lot of people are going for the civil rather than the criminal, which is interesting, right? Because if people keep going for the civil on an actual perpetrator versus the criminal, then obviously this allows that perpetrator to continue to wreak havoc. It allows them to continue to have access and to be able to perpetrate their abuse and crimes against other individuals. Look at how many people have been victimized by Diddy. How the long-standing existence of Bad Boys and all his other business ventures, even R. Kelly, allowed these type of men to stay in power, and it allowed them to put people through the wash and the rinse. So, you know, we ain't seeing too many criminal cases unfold, at least not at the volume that we need to, because so many people are wanting to be paid for their pain, which, you know, I'm not here to tell a genuine victim how to go about their justice. You know, if somebody want that cash out, then I guess get that cash out. But I will say it would be nice to see both things happen, because you can sue civilly and still apply criminal charges to someone. You can do both. It doesn't have to be a one or the other.
I'm an emoji girl. Listen,
Like those girls be revealing text messages, revealing inboxes from those trades,
And that's why I don't do it.
that's why
That's why I don't do it.
I don't even check my inbox too much no more. I really don't check my inbox too much anymore. I don't even check my inbox that much no more because it's scary. Right here, here's the other one here. Here, girl. Here you go. Here, girl. There you go. It's just nothing. And if Mo need to looking at her, he can look. You can look. Bitch. I know it's okay. I know. But let me see yours. I ain't got nothing to hide. All right. There's nothing to hide.
So I had pulled up the People magazine article.
You not looking at it?
I
Let
thought
me
I had
charge you
put it
back
up there. So anyway, he's being sued for this $260 million. The actor Derek Dixon claimed that he met Tyler back in 2019. As I mentioned, those text messages are for 2021. And in the complaint filed on June 13th in Los Angeles, it was according to the guy Derek Dixon, it was a coercive, sexually exploitative dynamic between them while he was starring on the filmmaker show The Oval and Ruthless. It just goes on to say it accused him of initially promising him career advances and creating opportunities such as producing his pilot and casting him in his show, only to subject him to escalating sexual harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation when Mr. Dixon did not reciprocate. But again, this is very early. I don't know what's going on in here.
But from the surface, I don't believe
From the surface, it just looks like
it's suspect.
It looks suspect.
From the surface, I'm looking at it. It's looking suspect. I don't get into it.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I don't either.
And the thing about it with this too.
What happens when you're motivated?
They're paying bills. We gotta pay them to you guys. Run those likes up. Run those likes up. Run those likes up.
I don't know Tyler Perry's sexuality or sexual orientation. I don't know. I know what he tells us he is, and his sexual identity. I know what he is. He said, and that's what I'm walking with. Because I tell you, I'm a transgender woman, and bitch, if you call me anything else, I'm not fucking with you. Because that's
so. Here's the question: the black anarchists. Can we even say that these men are straight? At best, these would actually be straight presenting men, but not actually straight men. Or expound upon what you mean by your question. I may be misreading, but if I think that you're saying what you're saying, it's these are members of our own community, unfortunately, cosplaying as heterosexual folk, but are actually pansexual, bisexual, etc.
identity. And I'm not taking nobody. I don't give a fuck what you believe. You can call me a man and do all this stuff. I'm a transgender woman. That's my identity. Craig, I don't give a fuck about your staring face.
What?
I don't care about your staring face.
What are you talking about? I was listening to you.
I know you're listening, but I don't care about your staring face.
I'm staring at the camera.
Okay, but I'm just letting you know.
And when you say they, who you talking about in this context? Anarchists. Not as giving gay. Who's part of Trevor? Like, I need y'all to be specific to what y'all saying so that I understand who y'all talking about in this instance. Who is the they? On whose part is it given gay for pay? Whose part? On Dixon's part? On the pale man's part? Is the pale man the one who's doing all of the praying?
Talking about. I'm just letting you know. I don't care what nobody. People. This is why we having these problems right now. We're not letting people walk in their identity. That's their identity.
That's right.
That's just what it is. Let
That's
people
right.
walk in their identity. We can, just like I got in trouble for calling that boy church. I did that. We don't know that. Don't do Chi-Chi. Excuse me. Don't do that. I've already apologized for that because I had no right doing that. Thank you. We'll talk offline. Give me my. We know what Tyler Perry is.
Well, in the text messages, he was saying that he's working through some of his religious struggles through therapy. That's in the text messages. So you take that to mean.
Okay, so Trevor says Miss Dixon, $260 million for a non-pop cherry police. Look, here's the gag, right? To be honest, it don't even matter if Dixon is also low-key with the shits, which we did clock him. We did clock Dixon, because Dixon is in those text messages talking about for an Oscar, for an Emmy, girl. He willing to lay it low and spread it wide, okay? That he do got a price. So, you know, like I said in my commentary, it seems to me that out of all the things that Tyler Perry was trying to offer Dixon to get in those jeans, from cars to roles to vacations, that those things were not valuable enough for Dixon to give Tyler what he was looking for. He had done told Tyler what level of graciousness and gifting it was going to take. It was up to Tyler Perry then to do the math and see what he could do about that, or what he could give as an equivalent to an Oscar, okay? Because Dixon had to slid that little math in there. He had to slid that little bit of data in there to give Tyler Perry a range, okay? This to me is major. I would think that Tyler Perry's attorneys are going to latch on to that and paint Derek as, look, this isn't somebody who was scared or somebody who who had unwarranted attention, etc. This is somebody who, he was with the shits. He was getting close. He wanted to see just how far Tyler would go. But here's the gag, right? Here's the gag. Whether Dixon is a user, whether he a thought, whether he is a thief, a 304, rather no matter what Dixon's motive is, the reality is Tyler Perry who's the defendant, and it's Tyler Perry who's the boss, and Dixon, no matter what his motives are, is still the subordinate in the situation, and Tyler Perry put himself in the gray space due to his interactions. Not to mention, now, once again, this man is also claiming that Tyler Perry actually physically assaulted him on multiple occasions. So this also isn't just like a guy pursuing a guy. There's some crimes that Tyler Perry is being accused of. Now, I was listening to an attorney on some platform, and the attorney was like, look, you can't sue an employee. Like, a boss can't sue an employee for sexual harassment. A boss can fire that employee. But, this situation only kind of works one side. It's one-sided. Tyler Perry, because of his engagements, him having a personal relationship and liking, that may have also led to why Dixon was even hired and even given a raise, since Tyler Perry is in those text messages saying, look, don't let these people know that I've given you a raise. Act like you were chosen because you're talented. Don't tell nobody about our new friendship, etc. Play the game. Which all of that was given that I employed you because I want to fuck you. I employed you for reasons that are actually non-professional. You are a DEI hire. I only did all this for you, girl, to get what I'm seeking, because Tyler is the boss, and because the reality of the power dynamics are what they are. and because Dixon played his hand just enough in the middle, Tyler Perry is the one who got the problems here. Tyler Perry is the one that got the issues in the situation, no matter what Dixon's personal motives are. So we can have conversations about how Dixon is a hoe, Dixon really wanted it. I mean, and all that could be the case. But it doesn't change the power dynamics. It doesn't change the fact that Tyler is the boss. He's the CEO. It doesn't change the fact that Tyler Perry, as the person in power, is allegedly behaving this way, is making promises allegedly in the vein of a sexual exchange. Baby, Tyler Perry got some problems. This lawsuit has given him some problems, baby. We as the people, in the court of public opinion, we can focus on all the secondary stuff. But this is a legal matter. And Tyler got some interesting potential legal issues he gonna have to confront, given the claims, given the dynamics, given who he is in this situation, and what that looks like under the microscope of the law. I will be dropping the link too.
Whatever it means. Right. But at the end, beginning, middle, and end of the day, Craig, you're a gay. You identify as a gay man. Yeah.
Yes, he went back, but many people do, because that's why I keep stressing, Trevor, the boss, because people are able to argue that I felt forced to have to deal with the harassment, with the unwanted attention, the unwanted touching, because my livelihood was on the line. And that's why Dixon intentionally carved out the part of the text thread where him and Tyler are communicating about how Tyler is going to kill off other actors' role in his shows because they ain't acting right, because they ain't behaving right. And the way that he gets people out of his sphere, or the way he retaliates against talent, is by pretty much writing them out of the show. Because that's going to be the crux of how Dixon explains why, or how he justifies why he stayed as long as he stayed, why he continued to entertain Mr. Perry, why he would go back. Coercion, blackmail, these seemingly threats. This is going to be a major sympathy ploy on behalf of a jury. And once again, I don't know all of the laws in place that deal with workplace harassment and all of that. I'm not, a master at understanding how those laws fall state-wise or federally. But considering that this type of behavior from a boss to a subordinate is heavily and highly discouraged, I'm going to then assume that, a subordinate could have some sound positioning and defense in a situation like this. And this ain't a situation as a CEO or as a boss or as a person in power that you want to find yourself in.
If somebody else says, Craig, you can't be gay. Because there are people, there are women who look at you like, you too fine. Because I see them do it. Yeah. Craig, you too fine to be gay. You too fine. And you like, ma'am, I'm gay. And she's like, no, you're too fine to be. It's like, ma'am. But I'm not offended. It's not about being offended. Yeah. It's about. But no, I get it. Your identity. Or like when I was called a woman that time, a girl. Yeah, that time. But go ahead, keep going. No. What's it mean? It wasn't me. Okay. I know that's my sis. And that's CIS.
They're paying them bills over there at the BACKLASH, honey. So y'all run them lights up.
Whose phone is beeping?
Oh, this is mine. Let me put my shit on silent. That's my shit beeping.
I know this my sis, that's CIS.
Look, make my own children cry. That's my own baby cry.
Because he's a cisgender male.
That's right. That's right.
So when I say it, I'm just validating him being a cisgender.
Correct. That's
so
right.
This is my sis. Might I suggest you don't fuck with my sis? Because she's comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Comfortable in his skin.
That's right.
Cozy with who he is. Comfortable in his skin. Goldie.
Oh my God. But that's all I really want to say about Tyler, because I don't want to get messy with it.
Yeah, I'm done with it. And here's the thing about those shakedowns. I personally feel
anarchists, I think that, so you're talking about Dixon in this case, like these type of men who like to gay bait, they like to grift the hobosexuals or the opportunists who really aren't queer, but if they see that they have a desirability in the eyes of a queer person whom has something that they want, that they may play into that to a degree, like a hustler. Opportunists come in all shapes and forms, baby, and they will take any shape and form if it means getting what the hell they want.
At a certain tax bracket, buy what you need. Because once I hit that next bracket, I'm already polyandry. I'm buying what I need.
And you know, I've heard people say that when you reach a certain status,
I'm buying what I need.
That you put a certain, you put a certain amount of money to the side.
You've heard me tell
That was you?
That was me say you create an account
for lawsuits.
For lawsuits and for your.
We can only wait on the facts about the physical assaults, but the workplace harassment side of things is still worth a pretty penny, way more than Jane Doe could ever ask Diddy for. My God, today, Lisa says Oprah school is in another country, was riddled with abuse. Very strange. These types of people were attracted to her school, and that, you know, they run in these type of circles and packs together too. You got Oprah, who is, you know, she's a controversial figure at this damn point. You know, the madame at her all-girl school was abusing girls. Then you got all those alleged kids in Maui who disappeared under Oprah's watch, allegedly. I heard that there's also been some disappearances from girls at her school in Africa. Then her best friends, Harvey and Jeffrey Weinstein. Now Tyler Perry has been officially sued. You know, there's been whispers throughout it's very interesting, chill. It's very interesting. Trevor says, so Dixon could only work for Tyler Perry Studios. This reminds me of Rover Carlton a few years back in the day. Here's the thing. Of course, you know, a person always has the option to leave, but Trevor, I think the point is it doesn't denote harassment and abuse and assault. And we know that people's work situation is more nuanced than that, right? We know that getting a job just doesn't happen in the blink of an eye. Job opportunities are not that tangible. You got to also remember that Dixon was bound by contract as well, which is why his complaint acknowledges that, you know, when he was ready to leave the show, he could not rationalize this attention and behavior anymore, and he couldn't take it anymore, that, you know, he wanted out, and Tyler Perry, according to him, was alleging that it would be breach of contract. So there's those type of obligations and commitments as well. So while, yes, he could work for another studio, but he was in contract, and I'm not sure that that argument really matters when it comes to the claim of harassment and physical assault and once again, these workplace dynamics. While I do believe that some of Mr. Dixon's integrity and desires, that he's not innocent per se, but I do think he has, at least right now, before we even see Tyler Perry's side, right now, he does have a working claim. You know, he's not the defendant in this case. His behavior, even if the shoes were reversed, he wouldn't even be up for as much penalty as Tyler Perry is, just given the dynamics. So I think Tyler Perry is going to have some problems unless his response tells us a completely different story. Unless whatever Tyler is going to present in his defense is going to put all of this into context in terms of this text thread. Maybe Tyler Perry is going to show us the parts of the thread that Dixon intentionally left out of the mix. Maybe we're going to hear from Tyler Perry that actually, yeah, there was molestation, there was inappropriate touching, and there was choking, except it was Dixon who was doing the stuff to me. Dixon was the one who was grabbing my junk. Or maybe Tyler Perry is with his lawyers right now deciding how to respond to this. And maybe he will decide, you know what, I can't even avoid the gay thing anymore. I'm just going to have to lean into that because it might be the only way I can save my ass in this lawsuit. So let me lean into the gay thing. Let me go ahead and come on out softly through this lawsuit. And then what I'm going to use as a defense is that actually this was mutual. Dixon would grab on me, touch on me when we was alone. He would kiss me. He would grab my ass. This was kind of, you know, God, this is how we carried on with each other. It wasn't that I was just the one actively pursuing him. He actively pursued me. This touching is mutual, etc. Now, Tyler Perry still may have some issues, you know, once again, given the power dynamics, some of this behavior happening on set, etc. Dixon claiming this is unwarranted. I don't know how they're going. That's why I'm so interested and anxious to see how Tyler Perry is going to respond to the. I just cannot. I don't know what direction he's going to go, but I just know that it's going to be interesting. And he's in an interesting predicament given the circumstances. But I can't wait to see how Tyler Perry is going to defend himself against us.
The entry is activity. That's right. You put your account over there, you pick you one, maybe two.
Well, I might need a couple.
Or three.
Right.
Whatever it is, you tell them, hey, this is your stipend. This is what we are.
Now, what Tiz Madison is talking about is, hey, these men need to straighten up, put you a whole fund to the side. When you high valued and you make a lot of money, you actually don't have to be genuinely pursuing anybody. There are services available. Like I always say, you can use an escort service. You really can avoid all of this type of treachery when you are a person of means. You can actually cut the middle out and just get straight to the sex, okay? That's why they're called S3XUAL workers for a reason. They work, and their work is in the field of sex, okay? So you can just get past all this. Why these high-powered people just won't deal with S3XUAL workers, you know, is a head scratcher. And then Tiz Madison is like, put you a fund to the side, you know, this your play fund, this the fund you dip into, okay, to take care of your needs, to pay your hoes with, etc. But I've been telling y'all, this is what for me, lends to the conversation of, is Tyler an abuser? Because to everybody's common sense, right? Well, damn, why would Tyler Perry go about it this way? You know, certainly there are people who would willfully give up the Bucci for Tyler Perry. Certainly there are people who would willfully lay it down just because of Tyler's status alone. You know, he wouldn't have to be out here begging nobody. There are plenty of people who would willfully give it to him. Well, that unfortunately may be because Tyler Perry might be an abuser. We don't know that to be true. But like I have told you guys in previous live streams, when we are, you know, entertaining this idea of like, why would somebody who is attractive or someone with means choose to go about things this way? And it might be because of the deviancy. We've already talked about how abusers do not. If you are a willful participant, that's not going to appeal to an abuser, because an abuser likes to abuse. They like to inflict. They like to afflict. They can't do that if you are a willful participant, because what they're getting off to is the taking and the graping, the humiliation, the dehumanization of it all. They can't get none of that from somebody who is with the shits. So the circumstances need to literally posture them as a predator so that they can have a genuine prey. It needs to be a genuine predator to prey dynamics. Somebody else who's into BDSM and who wants to be tied up, who don't mind being choked, that person would not appeal to someone who is deviant and or who is a abuser by nature. So this may be why, if these things are true, if Tyler Perry actually has been abusive, if he has violated this man physically, etc., if all those things are true, if the things that are alleged are in fact turn out to be true, then that would be why Tyler Perry is not pursuing readily available people, but people whom he can instead force himself upon. Whatever that's doing for his ego or doing for his broken mind is what that type of social dynamic would be feeding him and gratifying him.
Because when you get to a certain level of tax write-off, I tell niggas now that don't anything that I've got that you've obtained from me is a tax write-off, honey. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I need a couple social security numbers.
Well, you get them. Excuse me.
You know who you are. Send me your send me your social.
Excuse me, Craig. Excuse me. You get them. Let them know payday is Friday or Sunday, depending on the week. This is our agreement. I don't mind people having hush money. I've actually I almost needed 30 seconds.
Okay.
But I've actually spoken to some prominent men who I've said, hey, you know, just because you're rich, you don't need to be polexing and dropping in everybody's inbox. You know, somebody's going to peel you together.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
And then somebody did peel them together. And
I do want 30 seconds because I want to know who that was.
Use your critical thinking. And I explicitly told them verbatim, baby, you need to put you something to the side and just let that. You're rich. You're rich. Put that money to the side.
I think I just pulled it.
You did. Put that money to the side so that you don't be in no scandal.
And stay out them people's inbox.
And if you inbox them, let them know that you're ready to motherfucking handle that business. Because none of that stuff None of that stuff is going to cost you anything in taxes. You are mega rich. You're not regular rich. You're mega rich. Mm-hmm. I'm rich. Nene is very rich. And then there's the mega rich. When you're mega rich and an athlete, you need to make sure that you cross your, because there are
cross your T's, you dot your
there are some girls who are.
But that's what I tell y'all all the time, and therapists had just hit on it and says that money does not equal wellness or healthiness. I keep telling y'all, only healthy is healthy. Only healing is healthy. You can be wealthy, rich, good looking. You can have all other things. If there are parts of you that are bruised and broken, that are undone, undealt with, unhealed, you're going to circle that block. You're going to make a mess of some kind. Where you are, no matter who you are and where you are, you're going to make a mess. And again, until that mess is addressed. This is why I keep telling y'all, healing should not be considered a luxury. Because your brokenness can cost you at any time on any level. And when you don't deal with that shit will continue to deal with you, even as a successful Black billionaire. It will deal with you. Brokenness has the same consistency of water, baby. You can try to band-aid water as much as you can, baby. Your brokenness gonna slide out of every attempt to band-aid it until you have intimate confrontation with your brokenness. They ain't enough scooting it away. They ain't enough backdooring it. They ain't enough denying it. They ain't enough suppressing it. They ain't enough doing all. Babe, put whatever type of band-aid you want on it until you're willing to have intimate confrontation. Your bullshit gonna show up. And that's what all these celebrities falling from grace should show us. That's what it keeps demonstrating to us. All these politicians who get caught up in child porn and all these damn deviant scandals. It don't matter what you claim you represent, what you claim your personal ethics are. Baby, you can shout it from the mountain, you can hoot and you can holler, you can play whatever role you want to play in society. If you toe up, baby, your toe upness is going to bleed out. You can call yourself a pastor, you can call yourself a Democrat, you can call yourself a Republican, you can be titled the president, bitch, and still have 34 felonies under your belt because you got undealt with foolishness. Your foolishness gonna follow your ass every which way you go, just like your shadow. That's why they call it shadow work, baby. It lives alongside you. Ready or not? Like it, I love it. And if you don't deal with your shit gonna deal with you until you ready. It ain't going no way.
For an expose.
That's right.
Sit down.
And they're ready to screenshot your messages.
Sit down. Then I'm looking at them and they have all this stuff going on. And I was like, girl, I told you, girl. I told you this. Keisha?
What did Keisha say?
I told you this. Sit down. If you have fantasies and fetishes and all of this type of stuff going on and you're rich, you can buy anything you need. That means whatever.
Correct.
That means whatever. That means your pleasure. You can buy whatever pleasure you need. Men talk, but when the suitcase roll up, bitch, there's a different conversation.
Okay.
There's a suitcase, an NDA.
That part.
They paying bills, child. They paying them bills. Y'all run them likes up, child. We got them bills to pay too, child. Run them likes up. Run them blah, run them blah, run them blah. We need them like. Then we gonna visit this a comment section, child.
You gotta move when you're in a certain bracket. I'm not even in that tax bracket. I'm headed there. I'm going to be in that tax bracket.
And that's my point. Like, I don't even play with them DMs like that.
I don't even play with these people here. Like, girl, you're not gonna put no stuff out about. You're not gonna do that. No, you're not doing that. You're not doing the things. No. So, Craig, CISTER, sister, please. You're moving in your wealth.
Oh no, I don't. Listen, I don't play. Listen, I have friends. My friend Ryan, in particular, he's always like, Craig, just go ahead and jump, because I'm telling you, it's been dry over here.
You're moving in your wealth era.
And he be like, well, if you want your a little something, go ahead and just jump in the DM.
You're moving Craig, you're moving in your wealth era. Craig, you're moving in your wealth era.
I'm not doing it.
You're moving in your wealth era, Craig.
I'm not doing it.
You know how you have a soft girl era?
Right.
And then you move in your wealth era. You're moving in your wealth era, girl. People will target that. Girl, you got to stay low.
I know.
And anything you do.
And this is why I get lonely at the top, baby. Because as you become somebody who got something to lose, you can't do what everybody else do, and you really don't know how that feel until you get into that place. Even me, I am a public figure. I am a personality. This is why y'all are never gonna find me on Jack and Grindr and all these apps. I can't do that stuff. I can't just have those type of interactions with people anymore. I can't just, go connect with someone, especially not in this age of, everybody looking for their 15 minutes. Everybody feels like somebody. Once they start getting attention from someone, they consider somebody. So you don't even have the right to privacy anymore. People want to tell every damn thing. And there might be things that you do that aren't even wrong in nature, but things that you just prefer to be private because, like everybody else in the fucking world, you would like a private life. But with everybody wanting to put everything out there, you can't even just have casual sex if you are a public figure. You can't even just let people into your home. People want to secretly record you. It's just a mess, As you move up and up, the space gets tighter, the air gets thinner. Your social circles really shrink significantly. It's a different world. It's a different world.
Make sure bitches NDA. Listen, I've learned lots of my lessons, bitch. It's NDA. Bitch, have your lawyer. Nobody don't need to know nothing. Your lawyer sending that stuff. Y'all back and forth. It's like, listen, we finna be romantically doing the horizontal situation. Listen, I gotta make sure I'm covered. I have more to lose.
That's right.
I don't want this stuff in the motherfucking public. I don't even want you. And people be talking about DL and all that type of shit. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But bitch, I'm clout. I don't want that.
Yeah.
You see how y'all hoes make headline news when all the when all the bitch be doing is sitting on interviews and y'all bitches making the headline news. No, I'm not. I don't want to get into that. No, I don't want that. No, we have NDAs. We kiki about this. We laugh and talk about this, but this is what we do. Yeah. Everyone in this room is on an NDA.
Right.
We joke and we laugh, but bitch, it's serious around here. I learned those lessons from that last group who's no longer amongst us. A group will teach you, and it's just like, how could you be in an era of your life and move around and deal with so many different people and not learn from the era prior?
See, T.S. Madison is talking about wisdom, and unfortunately, a lot of people who you would think should have learned by now still ain't learned a damn thing. People are really just dumb and just insist upon their foolishness. It goes to tell you how wounded they really are. When you see a person's woundedness, keep putting them in the same shit again and again and again and again and again and again, and they still ain't been no knock on the door, baby. Baby, it's because that injury is deep. That injury is deep, baby. When you see somebody continue to fall over the same banana peel, fall for the same okie dokie again and again and again and again, that repetitive self-harm, that repetitive self-sabotage, that repetitive in the same shit, might be a different player. The details might be a little different, but nonetheless, in principle, the same shit. It's because it's not just a matter of wisdom at that point. There's something much deeper going on with the person who keeps falling victim to quote unquote circumstances. Okay, now let's pull up the actual stream, because, you know, now that I've heard the commentary full on, I mean, I can see what people's issues are, but I don't know. I mean, the comment section was like really, like, you know, some of the viewers felt really, really, really inflamed by this commentary, girl. They were tearing TS and the mistress up, but particularly tearing the mistress all the way up, girl, in the comment section. So let's take a look at the comment section, child. And y'all thumbs up the video, child. All right. One commenter says, it doesn't matter whether or not this is a shakedown. The fact is, Tyler had an inappropriate relationship with an employee. He even told Derek to keep their friendship a secret so other people wouldn't be jealous. He gave that man all the ammo to take him to court. No matter how you look at it, Tyler is in the wrong here, and he's going to have to write that man a big check. Someone else said, the comments passed the vibe check. I love TS and Cret like cook food, but to be blind of abuse of power is why men like Puffy, Cosby, and Tyler can do what they do for so long. So many people are complicit. Another user says he's going to have to pay for sexual harassment in the workplace. If Tyler wanted to sleep with this man, he shouldn't have hired him. This Caucasian man is about to get a check. How much is the question? Another user talked about the 14-minute, 11-second time mark and said, this is the stupidest take I've ever heard Craig say. How in the hell were those texts not sexual harassment if Tyler is Derek's literal boss? Yes, they're grown men, but there's a professional power difference between them that invalidates what the F they're Maddie and Craig up there talking about. Someone else says, who gives a damn what the mistress thinks? He be loud and wrong. It is inappropriate to be actually harassed by your employer, period. Someone else says, y'all should really read the complaint. At bare minimum, he's going to have to pay that man for sexual harassment. You cannot text your employee that you want BJs and biscuits for your birthday. I don't know how y'all don't see it. Someone else says, I knew that TS was not going to go hard on Tyler because she works for him, but acting like this is not an issue was wild. At least read the whole article and text messages. Disappointed in the mistress too. Someone else says, I love this show. Please stop with these unserious takes on what is a legal case based on the power dynamics existing between employer and employee. The texts are a small part of the bigger picture, and while none of us can know the ultimate outcome of the case, cause definitely exist. There was also a EOOC filed before the case was submitted to avoid this, but TP Studios decided to forego resolving the issue in-house. Obviously, Maddie can't be objective about a case with her employer just don't even cover it because the credibility here is lost. Someone else says they knew not to bring up Christian keys, my God, today. Someone else says if those random text messages had been between two people with no professional precautionary ties, there'd be no unlawful behavior here. However, the legal entire context is altered when we consider that these are text messages between an employer and his employee subordinate who's under contract and whose livelihood depends on his remaining in good graces of his boss. What's lawful or unlawful isn't based strictly on the content. It's also based on the relationship and power dynamics between the parties. This is a nuance to which leaders, bosses, and those who aspire to be such should take heed. And it goes on and on and on and on and on, y'all. Somebody else says, girl, bye. We all saw the Boondocks episode. Someone else says, Tyler shows who he is through his works. He just can't fully admit it because of the stigma to the Black community and the church, but even he can't help but reveal things slowly but surely through his content. If you want to continue to act like he's this straight and uppity Christian man, then you are lost. He's in a struggle trying to reveal, but also not reveal, have his cake and eat it too, and that isn't referring to Derek's butt. That being said, I, however, don't think Derek needs $260 million out of this. That's insanely ridiculous. Someone else says they've been working on this for 24 months. I've enjoyed Tyler Perry's studio. Team works for years. You were just getting a preview to the movie to come. The cards haven't been played out yet. It's dangerous playing games behind the scenes. Cha, 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 cha. Unique says exactly. TS is dealing with the same power dynamic. She can't even speak freely out of fear. My God, today, someone else says his behavior is inappropriate and he's out of line, especially if he's paying a guy a premium. He should date people in his tax bracket, but he wants to control his men. But did TS advise to buy your fetish even if it's abusive or illegal? No, I don't think she's advocating for anything abusive or illegal. I think she was just speaking to, you know, how there's a lot of flimsiness on behalf of a lot of men in power. They really kind of don't understand the assignment or their position. They don't understand how they can't do what other people do. You can't just be in people's DMs, carrying on, etc. You know, you have a lot to lose, and you have to act accordingly to that loss. You got to act accordingly to those things. I think she's speaking to that. Hey, Ray. Ray says, I read the text. I don't see anything wrong with them. The plaintiff kept trying to get Tyler to out himself. Who cares if he's gay or not? Well, yes, the texts are a problem, like people are saying, in the context of Tyler Perry is a boss. Dixon is the subordinate. And Tyler was doing too much, trying to make this man feel guilty because he couldn't answer the phone, telling this man that he was jealous when he saw pictures of Dixon with another man, constantly complimenting Dixon on how he filled out his jeans and how he looked in his jeans, and how he disapproved when apparently Dixon maybe was losing weight and wasn't filling out his jeans the way he initially was, telling Dixon that he's on supplements that are making him horny. You know, this is all unbecoming. Like, Tyler Perry definitely crossed, at the very least, professional lines. Even if it can't be fully chalked up to sexual harassment, it was definitely inappropriate, and Dixon definitely is within his right to list this behavior as something that made him uncomfortable and something that he didn't feel he could really push up against because Tyler Perry is his boss and he was afraid of being punished and penalized and, you know, subjected to retaliatory behavior. And these are the type of dynamics that it's Tyler's responsibility to keep in mind. He's the boss. He has to understand that He's not even in a position to be friends with his employees because you aren't going to get a real friendship. You are the boss. People are going to be more inclined to yes man you because once again, your employees are the one who got something to lose. They're not in a position to be honest with you. They're not in, even if they quote unquote have the right to, you know, this is why these type of dynamics and like being personable and all of that is really just discouraged all out. Keep shit strictly professional. Keep shit strictly how it is. Dixon ultimately did not seek Tyler Perry out to be fucked. He didn't seek Tyler Perry out to be a boy toy. If Tyler Perry wants to hold Chippendale auditions, then that's what the hell he need to go do. Go hold Chippendale auditions. Go hold Tyler Perry needs a bestie auditions. Go hold Flavor of Tyler dating shows and get you a man if you need to be loved. Somebody who you're hiring to do a professional job is not in place to put up with this type of shit. And once again, while I also agree that Dixon is not per se completely innocent, unfortunately, the rules don't apply to Dixon. They apply to Tyler. They apply to Tyler. And once again, there's more going on here. While the public is kind of more focused on the text, we have to remember he's also making some very egregious claims against Tyler Perry too that go beyond these texts. These texts just show how pressed Tyler Perry ass was to have a personal relationship. That personal relationship may have also been the reason why Dixon ended up as a DEI hire, since Tyler Perry is literally telling Dixon to keep the friendship under wrap. He may have been hired for non-professional reasons. And he also gave him a raise and gave him things that other people who were working, if not working even more on set than Dixon, there was a lot of favor. You know, Tyler Perry put himself in a fucked up position. If Dixon has a experienced attorney, they're going to be able to stomp on Tyler Perry's head top real bad. However, though, you know, I don't know. Once again, I'm curious to know what Tyler Perry is going to throw at this. You know, there's always two sides to every story. We know the one that Dixon is painting. Now we need to see what is Tyler Perry going to, how is he going to paint this side, child? I'm going to drop the link and let you guys come up for a little bit. We will not be here all night, so you got to come now if you're coming. I just wanted to come and talk about this because I saw TS's show in my feed, and I was scrolling through the comments and saw the conversation taking place, and it gave us an opportunity to talk about this litigation again. What's going on, Bubs? And happy birthday, Bubs. You guys, it is Bubs the God's birthday. His birthday was technically yesterday. He is 43. You guys, make sure you show Bubs some love. He has a project that he'll be releasing as well. So please subscribe to the Bubs. And if you want to bless Bubs for his birthday, Bubs, put your Cash App in the comment section in case the folk want to shout you out and show you some birthday love, child. Did I drop the link? Let's see here. All right, I dropped the link in case you guys want to come up. If you guys have any opinions about what's going on here, the ultimate turkey bastard baby no longer with the, okay, I don't, all y'all having y'all own conversations now. I don't know what y'all talking about. What can Tyler Perry say? Can someone help me? I don't know. I've been thinking about the defense, Nichelle, the whole, since this lawsuit been filed, I've been just in my brain thinking about how in the hell, what in the hell can Tyler Perry say? I can only imagine that maybe the text messages are being misrepresented. Maybe they are a fallacy. Maybe what, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe what Tyler Perry is going to show us is what Derek didn't. For instance, right? We see Tyler Perry complimenting Derek in them jeans. Maybe what Tyler Perry is going to show is Derek asking him about, you know, how he looked on set. You know, if everything looks camera ready. I don't know, but I'm going to assume that Derek's attorney sent Tyler Perry a demand letter initially, before this even was officially filed, gave Tyler Perry an opportunity to litigate and settle out of court. The fact that they filed anyway either tells me that they could not come to a middle and come to a resolve on how to handle this. Maybe Dixon really wants an astronomical settlement, and Tyler Perry is like, no, you know, maybe 5 million, maybe 1 million, maybe 10 million, bitch, but I'm definitely not cutting you a $260 million check. And I don't even know what your pussy looks like. Or maybe they bypass the demand letter altogether and just pulled the trigger. I'm not sure. But if there was a demand letter, Tyler Perry had an opportunity to litigate this, and he chose not to comply, then what that means is that Tyler Perry has a defense. It means Tyler has a defense. What the fuck that defense is, I have no idea. But I'm curious, because it means that he thinks he can defend himself against this. It means that there's a side that makes all this make sense. It means that whatever Tyler has to say about these claims paints a different picture of this exchange, physically, verbally, etc. And once again, you know, I'm going to keep it open mind personally, because, you know, we thought that Demore had Desiree ass backed up in a corner until Desiree responded to her daughter, you know, the CEO of Rock Nation, baby, and chewed her up and down. And Desiree made everything make perfect fucking sense. But if you just looked at the initial filing, you would think, well, damn, bitch, what in the hell could Desiree say in her defense? How the fuck is she going to make this shit make sense? And baby, she did. She motherfucking did. So I don't know how in the fuck Tyler Perry gonna make it make sense. But what I do know is that, you know, I done seen people make shit that seemingly can't be made sense of make perfect damn sense. And I've seen people be able to recover from what looks like, you know, it looks like a pending L. So I'm just curious. Maybe he can't defend himself. Maybe his response is going to be trash. Maybe his response is going to be more damaging than anything else. Maybe he can't defend himself. I don't know. But because he's been officially called to the carpet, he's going to have to legally respond. And I just can't wait. I cannot wait until it drops, baby. When it drop, y'all, if y'all get notified before I do, motherfucking email me, DM me, girl, that Tyler has responded officially. If y'all get it before I get it, let me know that Tyler has officially responded, baby, because we gonna be there loud, live, and in color, and we gonna go line by line by line by line, baby. You're the only person who represented a Desiree's side fathomable. However, for entertainment purposes, I like the daughter's right, because it fit right, because her daughter's side fits all of the urban legend, right? Around, you know, it feeds into the urban legends of Rock Nation and this whole idea that they're powerful, and, you know, it's some big corporation that got politicians and judges and police in a chokehold, but her own complaint actually proves that Roc Nation ain't got shit but a bunch of artists they representing. Because if they had all the power that the streets would like to think they do, Damare wouldn't have had a chance in hell. She wouldn't have had a chance in hell, baby. She wouldn't have been able to get free from that 5150. Her and her nigga would be successfully divorced. Her man would be successfully in jail. Her toxicology report would not have come back clear because they had the power to falsify all that information. The DA who looked, who opened up an investigation into Damare's husband, they would not have decided not to press charges. All of that contradicts this big urban legend that Roc Nation got all these systems and power. And I can't believe people they can't see through the bullshit because they're so obsessed with the narratives that they don't even see the facts of what's going on. But yes, the complaint feeds into what definitely is a fantastical fantasy of Roc Nation. It feeds into Roc Nation's mystique and masculinity. And I was not expecting Desiree's response to be that eye-opening and to be that sensible, and I just didn't expect all the things. So while I personally, like y'all, I cannot imagine what Tyler's defense is, I know where there's a will, there's a way. I know that there is going to be a defense, and I'm very aware that it has the potential to actually relieve Tyler Perry of what has been accused and claimed against him. We just can't see how that's possible this early on. But baby, don't think it ain't possible. Don't think Tyler Perry, look, he is innocent until proven guilty. So based upon what his side is, based upon what evidence he has, if Dixon got a text thread, it means Tyler Perry got a text thread too. If Dixon got a side, Tyler Perry got a side too. What the hell that is, I don't know. But I'm going to be here, baby, to get into the things. Line by line in real time, Trevor, you know it. Is there a trial in Atlanta? We must have dinner and a cocktail. Oh, yes, babe. I'm always in the ATL, honey. I will let you know, therapist, when I'm there next time. Maybe TP will release Dixon's show right back to him and not comment yet, do stuff like that. Baby, I don't know. TP needs to settle out of court at the max. But here's the thing. If they sent a demand letter already, hell, if he was going to settle, he could have settled before this thing ever even hit the fan. So if there was a demand letter, which we don't know yet, I'm assuming maybe there was because of the lawyer saying that this is a shakedown. Typically, that implies that a demand letter was sent. So if he didn't settle and he allowed Dixon to go forward and file this, Tyler Perry, whatever defense he has, he believes in his ability to defend himself against us. Or at the very least, he believes in his ability to survive it. It is just a civil case. It's not criminal. He's not going to get locked up even if he's found guilty. And he's wealthy enough to not even have to be famous anymore. He could be in the background and pour his money into things without ever having to be the face of anything again and be just fine. His wealth would carry him. I will, Sam. I definitely will, boo. I'm gonna have to catch the replay. You are a billionaire chasing after white bus. Yeah, because when you at the top, you ain't got nothing else to do but do dumb shit. When there ain't nothing but space and opportunity, baby. It's space and opportunity to get in trouble. Dixon will be forever remembered at 260 million cherry. And the gag about it is, hell, Tyler Perry may have to end up running him that. That'll be the gag, honey. Cardi B got 4 million out of defamation. People didn't even, I mean, people thought that was unreasonable and way too high, given the case and the situation, child, who knows? Who knows? But whatever it is, Tyler Perry has run the risk of having to give Dixon maybe more than what he initially even wanted to. He may have came out better settling out of court. I'm not sure if it was Tyler. I don't think it was in Tyler's best interest to not litigate this out of court. However, I would only say that it was in the best interest of Tyler to litigate this in court if Dixon is just a liar and he's lying, and Tyler Perry has enough evidence to support just that. If Tyler Perry knows that that this is a slam dunk case because he got proof to prove otherwise, then it wasn't his best interest to allow old boy to pull the trigger, and then Tyler Perry can use that to tear Dixon ass up publicly, which also will send out a message to everybody else who's thinking, who was considering coming for his motherfucking neck. He could kill potentially a whole bunch of other birds with 50 million level other damn stones. But to the contrary, it may not do that. People so money hungry these days, people don't give a damn. You know, it may open up a can of worms. It may open up other people. Christian Keys may enter the group chat, girl. We may learn more about the Christian Keys stuff depending on how this litigation goes, because they did drop Christian Keys' name in the litigation, girl. In the complaint, child, they may subpoena Christian Keys' ass. Christian Keys may already be a star witness for all we know. More people could come out against Tyler Perry, women and men. Who fucking knows? I mean, yeah, it could get messy. Oh, yes. If Tyler Perry, him will more come out, he will be caught up in the Diddy trap, and the FBI will love to close down that studio. Oh, yeah, because he's a black billionaire child, so they will love to shut that shit down. Tyler Perry has been in the industry for over 20 years. We have never heard anything. No, well, no. We have the black anarchists. Dixon is not the first person to come out against Tyler Perry. Captain Carter came out. Christian Keys has come out. Lance Gross, the guy who played Carlton in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There's been a lot of allegations of this kind against Tyler Perry, along with, we can't even forget the injustice he participated in against fucking Monique. He helped to blackball a black woman who was actually standing on legit business, and still to this day refuses to make it right like Lee Daniels did. He's continuing to not take public responsibility for what he put Monique through professionally alongside Oprah. And bigger than that, right? Sophia, the actual drag queen who is the original Medea, has been making claims from the beginning against Tyler Perry that Tyler ran off with her whole intellectual fucking property. There would be no Medea and Tyler Perry if it wasn't for Sophia, the original Medea, who Tyler Perry would allegedly come to the gay clubs and drag shows and grift off of Sophia's creation, off her art. Took her art and made himself a billionaire off of it, and it ain't even give her ass $100,000. So Tyler Perry's whole origin story is completely like it's off of the heels of theft, fraud, defrauding, and it just gets worse from there. It's just that the people who have cried aloud against Tyler haven't cried louder than his success. So unless you got your ear like all the way to the streets, you wouldn't know, that Tyler Perry has been ran down on and has been accused by a plethora of men, an abundance of men, an abundance of creators, etc. It would look like he is as clean of a whistle as, it appears. Because before I knew what I now know, I thought the same thing. I was like, I ain't really heard shit about Tyler, but I had to, put my head a little bit deeper in that rabbit hole. And then, my God, today, it was all type of shit there. And that's what's also so unique about Derek Dixon is that, like, he's the first of Tyler's accusers that have, like, did something very loud, like put a loud action behind the allegations. To sue Tyler Perry is a big deal. So this is the first person that's really held him fully accountable. Even Sophia technically should have took Tyler Perry as to task, over copyright. And Tyler Perry has been sued by another Black creator for the show that Tyler Perry is subleasing from Christian Keys, the Queens of Men or the Men of Queens or whatever the hell it's called. It's all type of shit around Tyler Perry's name, and it is very weird because all of the allegations against Tyler Perry are very contrary to his public image, very contrary to how his brand represents him. We know the entire entertainment industry is compromised from the top to the bottom, of course. No pun intended, top and bottom. Yep, I remember a documentary coming out about him stealing the character of Medea from someone, and also a person saying TP stated he was gay but can't come out. Subleasing the show, child. I think it's that OWN network has some kind of powerhouse to screw up the internet. Remember that cute little chocolate brownie boy on the first Ready to Love who got brain cancer? Oh my goodness. Wow, I didn't know that. And Sophia used to be, on V103. Yep. And she's told her story 100 times. Just type in Sophia, SOPHIE, talks Tyler Perry, or Sophia talks Tyler Perry stealing a Medea, and you can find her on the radio giving a whole play and rundown. I think she even was on T.S. Madison's show and had lightly talked about all of that as well. Tyler Perry's a mess, child. An alleged mess. He stole the exact name concept and didn't do anything with it less than a month after she pitched it for him and his team. That's a mess, child. That is a motherfucking mess. Wow. Oh, wow. So I want to come and get into that, you guys. We'll be keeping up with the keeping up. If you guys enjoyed yourself, y'all already know what the motherfucking do. Thumbs up the video, share. Y'all can hit that Cash App and PayPal. Information is on the screen in the description box below. Tell a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. I'm gonna go and decompress so I can be loud, live, and ready for you guys all week, because it's been going down every goddamn way, girl, and every part of the damn earth is going down. So we got a lot to get into this week. Hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend and have an even more wonderful weekday. I will catch you guys on the ends. Peace.